Hi! This is Cup of Kryptonite doing my, well, this is actually me. I'm making a junk journal, and here I actually used I actually cut apart a mailer to make the outside of a junk journal, and then I actually used my measurements for the outer piece. I did it 10 by 15.5 inches, but I think people kind of just go with whatever works for them, is what I noticed in general, because I got the idea from, I was watching a lot of different people on different channels on what they, choose to do with stuff and how they did it, and kind of just then chose to do it this way. And I kind of finished certain, like, I'm planning on doing one for my brother, and it's a gift for him. And then I'm doing one for me at the same time. So what I'm going to do is just simply what I figured is basically, and actually this was someone, basically, I think my mom actually made this point where basically simply do the same layout in both things, so that, like, because what tends to end up occurring, especially since I love to do stuff for my brother, is my stuff sits undone, and then I end up, keeping his stuff, all caught up, which is, kind of funny. But I realized that I just needed to. And then I just used, for the inside part, for the inner part, I made the two inner flaps about 6 by 10 inches. And then for the middle, I kind of experimented. I did it about 4 by 10 inches, but then I cut it down a little bit to kind of make it maybe 3 1/4 by, that, to, instead of making it 4 inches, just because it was just a little bit too thick. And I noticed I wanted to have enough room to be able to kind of move with that. And then I just kind of, the idea I got from how I kind of figured out how to do it this way, was from Johanna, or no, not Johanna, it's actually Johanna Clow, and she's on YouTube, and she actually, I think, got the idea from Skillshare, and she did it from there. And the glue I'm using is Fabri-Tac, because I just kind of decided to, like, I was actually using on my brother's, I did it a little bit different, where I kind of used two different types of glue, because I had bought some from Target that was on clearance, but I realized for the video part I was not about to, whoops, there that went, I didn't want to end up having to use more than one type of glue. And I had found this pretty fabric that I kind of purposely spent a little extra on for me because I liked it. And I just bought it to use it as the outer piece because I thought that was really pretty for the outer part. And I knew the thing that she was doing, because actually and that's the material, because I knew that I had to glue it down fast enough. And I just liked how pretty it was. What she was doing was something more where you do some layers and do some other stuff, where mine I'm not necessarily trying to do it for any, like making fancy layers or anything. I'm doing it more for the purpose of me having fun making stuff and me getting to, kind of do stuff fun. She was doing a project where she was making it kind of more old. Here it is still arty, but it's not, to make it look old or anything. Because I noticed for my brother, my little nephew, my little angel, his graduation is coming up soon. Oh, so unfair. It's unbelievable that he's actually getting that old now. It's unfair. And he's still as cute as ever. He's just adorable. But I guess I'm a little biased too. Just a little. And then I just like to trim the edges just to kind of make it so that I didn't have too big of a mess of fabric everywhere. I knew I'd have some extra glue, or some extra fabric that I need to glue down, but I want to at least first get the base down, so that way I, at the very least, got it where it needed to be. And I thought it was funny with making the pages the same, considering, my brother's things. It's not like you know what I mean, they're just going to my brother anyway, and I'm not going to get them back, you know what I mean? So it's true that it's not going to make a lick of difference that they're, me making them both the same, and then I get them both done at the same time. And his, I made sure to make it a little more manly because, you know, my brother's very concerned about that. And he likes to have it where he knows it's all. And then I just trimmed some paper too, but I can put that on after too. But and here I just made sure that, because see, then the general outer part is relatively done. And then what I may do is trim this part just a smidgen smaller on each side, unless I just, it's because I was, no, it is still maybe a little bit smaller. I enjoyed taking and using some cute paper that I liked a lot, just because I felt like it. Usually for my junk journals, I wouldn't, you know, I'd just go and use, you know, whatever paper, but in this case I just allowed myself to kind of use a paper that I really liked in one of my paper packs. And so then I have the inner cover. Oops, I might not have trimmed this one, but life will go on. It won't kill anything or anything, it's just, oops. It just means it'll be completely out to the edge. And then what I do for the inner piece is I use my, I have one of the things, and I'm not necessarily, or one of these where I just punch holes and make it where I kind of just find a way to get them about where I could just get them so that, and I try to just kind of get them about even. I don't try to make it too perfect because I realized I could make them more perfect, I'm sure, but I'm not, you know what I mean, like deathly concerned or anything. If they're, you know, if the holes are precisely even or anything. I mean, I still try to get them in as even as possible, but if they're not, they're not. And then I just take and put eyelets in. And I know these you can either, because there's like a million different ways to, you know, put in eyelets with those. There's tons of eyelets, types of eyelet setters, sorry. And this is where I'm making it actually, this is actually making it a thick book where you could definitely make it a smaller one, you know what I mean, if you're not wanting a humongous book the way I'm doing it. Because this I'm just doing it because I have a ton of stuff to put in. And I'm trying to get it so that I can fit enough, but not, you know, so much that it breaks or anything either. Then I took and I found ribbon that I just kind of found at that I had bought. And this one I had found thing 1 and thing 2. I know if you're doing it for selling stuff, there's certain ones you can't sell, but I know that, like, if you're using it for you, it doesn't matter. Because I learned that from, I was watching Nick the Booksmith, and she was pointing out, you know, like all the copyright stuff that matters for things for people when they, you know, want to use certain things, especially if it's for selling to somebody. Because if you're giving it to somebody, it doesn't matter, you know, but if you're selling it, then it does. And here I'm doing it more. It's not that, okay, I need to have something, but I like to just do stuff to kind of make the binding look pretty, but not go too nutty with the oy. Let me just layer it just a smidgen because I can tell my third one will. The one thing I did notice is, at least with the Fabri-Tac, it works really well because it actually, when you layer the stuff on, when you put it on, it definitely holds it there. Which is something I definitely like. If I'm gonna have something that I need there, I want it to stay there. I'm very fussy in those terms. with that kind of thing if I can help it. Oops, did I cover the hole? No, I didn't. Good. I'm like, oh, please don't tell me that I covered the hole that I was trying to make. And then this cord I got from, I think I got it from Michael's, but I had bought some thicker cord from Joann's, but I wanted to use it because it makes sense with this stuff, and so I'm just double cording it, and then I'm gonna make some, I'm gonna just kind of add some extra bling on the bottom to kind of make it all pretty, because I have some like hanging, you know, jewelry stuff that I could add to kind of add some bling to it and make it a little prettier. And then what I did is, since it's a little bit lighter than the cord, or not lighter, but not as heavy duty as the Joann's cord, what I'm gonna do is simply I'm gonna end up double doing it, because I'd rather have it a little extra than have it be, I'd rather have a little extra in there and know that it's covered than not be sure. And I end up making folders. I just take like 5-star folders and I go and put different things of paper, etc. in them, and then I go and insert them into it. So like there's where how I did that, and I mean I cut off, like here I would end up just cutting down the little cords, and then I'll probably just add some bling, like some beading or something to that. But like if you want to see how my brother's is, because I'll show you how I set up a folder when I'm done. Like here's what I end up doing is I take a folder and then I go and I set it up that way and I just stick it in, and I figure I can always staple it later, so that way I can just keep adding papers and moving papers around until I'm ready. And see, I made sure his was guy enough, so that way he'd have it more guy. But and other than, yes, I still have to add the string to that one, but otherwise that's what I do to make my covers for my junk journals, and or at least for a thicker one. And I'd probably just for a thinner one I'd just do it individual and make a little smaller spine, but I'd probably still do this part the same. I'd just make that a little thinner, that's all. But there we go. And then if you want the specs again, I know I did mine 10 inches by 15.5 inches on the outside, if that helps, because I don't know how to put anything into the bottom parts. And then I found the material at Joann's. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. You guys have a great day. Bye.